Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Sadia Yakubu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365 and StarTimes, channels 276. And now the news in details. The National Association of Resident Doctors has declared an indefinite nationwide strike beginning on November 1st, citing the federal government's failure to meet key demands. The association wants a 200% salary increase, new allowances, immediate recruitment of staff, and the removal of bottlenecks affecting doctor replacement. The association's president, Dr. Muhammad Suleiman, directed members to hand over patients and sensitize the public ahead of the action, warning that attempts to exploit doctors will be collectively resisted. In the meantime, the federal government says 220 million Nigerians are now enrolled in health insurance schemes, with plans to reach 44 million by 2030. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Muhammad Ali Pati, said the milestone aligns with President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and marks a new record of 2.4 million new enrollees in the 2024. He added that the policy will cut high out-of-pocket spending, while the National Health Insurance Authority has been directed to ensure hospitals do not deny treatment to insured citizens. Nigeria's Constitution Review Committee has approved the creation of an additional state in the southeast, addressing long-standing calls for equity among geopolitical zones. The decision was reached during a two-day retreat in Lagos, chaired by Deputy Senate President Barrow Jibrin and co-chaired by Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu. Lawmakers described the move as one driven by fairness and equity, unity, with a subcommittee set up to also review the creation of more states and local governments across all zones. The People's Democratic Party has constituted a 13-member screening committee ahead of its November 15th National Convention in Ibadan. The committee is chaired by Senior Advocate Eyitayo Jegede, with Adamawa State Governor Amadu Fintiri serving as head of the organizing committee. Despite ongoing internal disputes and a pending court case challenging the exercise, the party says screening of aspirants will commence Tuesday as preparations continue. Igede youth in Benue State have taken to the streets to protest the deplorable condition of the Otukpo Obi Oju Road. The protesters are calling on the federal government to urgently rehabilitate the highway, which they say has become a death trap for commuters and heaven for criminals. Benue State correspondent Felicity Diri reports.
In a peaceful demonstration, but one that conveyed deep frustration, hundreds of Igede youth poured onto the Otukpo Obi Oju Road, demanding immediate government intervention to fix what they described as a failed federal road.
What do you want? Fix Otukpo Obi Oju Road.
For decades, the road has remained in a dilapidated state. According to youth, until the road is fixed, they will continue to raise their voices, hoping that one day their cries will translate into concrete action.
But when it comes to the border area of Ijegu, down to Igede land, the tractors and everybody will disappear like salt inside water. We are tired. We will not take it again. We have come and we are going to remain here 3 days after today. If you don't attend to us, we are human beings. We give our vote to the federal government. We give our vote to the state government. We give our vote to every other person and contributed to national development. We cannot be left like this. So this is just a warning.
The protesters say the hardship caused by the poor road goes beyond inconveniences. It threatens lives and livelihoods, forcing motorists and commuters to endure endless delays, vehicle breakdowns, and in some cases, attack by bandits, taking advantage of stranded travelers.
And the election is coming. We don't want this road to become a campaign strategist for our politicians. Because this road has become a campaign strategist. What they normally do during the election, they come and start giving us lies that if you vote for me, this road is going to be fixed.
When they asked us to vote for them, we always turned out in large numbers. But now it's time for them to help us. They refuse to listen to our voices. What should we do? We are tired. They should fix our road. We can no longer go to the market.
Drivers and commuters say going through the route daily is a journey of frustration and loss.
And my customer, when they wait me for Abuja to carry, I don't give them. They worry me. They say I don't chop their car. I don't say they divert their car. And I'm no day. Why supposed to go and carry car since they about 3 days ago now? No movement. And no way to do to me again to survive the motor again.
We are on the road. They are supposed to come and check the road, even if they won't repair it. This road has been in existence before I was born. Now I am grown. I'm plying the road too. Sometimes we spend 2 days on the road, eating food and drinking water that is not too.
The protesters, therefore, as a matter of urgency, are appealing to the Federal Ministry of Works and the Benue State government to prioritize the rehabilitation of the Otukpo-Obi-Oju Road in the next phase of infrastructure projects. In Otukpo, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
34th National Conference with a grand finale and 40th anniversary celebration in Abuja. The event highlighted 4 decades of consistent advocacy for environmental protection and sustainable development. Ubong Usoro reports.
It was a night of reflection, recognition, and renewed commitment as members of the Nigerian Environmental Society gathered to celebrate 40 years of driving environmental awareness and policy action in Nigeria. The event featured a presentation of awards to deserving members who have contributed to the society's growth and impact over the years. Speakers commended NES journey from a small advocacy group to a national voice for sustainable and environmental justice. The national president of the Nigerian Environmental Society, Dr. Efebidike Okobia, stated that the organization will continue its advocacy towards environmental sustainability.
For us, we are indeed grateful that the society is 40 years. But we are not just celebrating 40 years, we are celebrating landmark achievements and also planning and strategizing for the next 40 years.
The National Secretary of the Society, Dr. Adewale Adeyemi, said the milestone reflects the organization's resilience and continued drive to promote cleaner and greener communities.
This was just a society that was just like a mustard seed planted by a few people, about 10 of them 40 years ago. Now from just one chapter in Lagos, it has grown to 36 chapters in Nigeria and 1 chapter in UK.
Also speaking, Emeritus Professor Babajide Alo, former Deputy Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos and Chairman of the Board of Trustees, described NES as a catalyst for positive environmental change in Nigeria.
We have also remained very, very relevant in Nigerian society. We are recognized as the premier NGO for environment in Nigeria. We are recognized as the leading society, government, parastatals, everybody come to us.
As the grand finale draws to a close, members reaffirm their commitment to promoting sustainable cities, strengthening partnership, and creating a healthier, greener environment for current and future generations. Ubong Usoro for Global Television, Abuja.
The Federal Capital Territory Executive Council has approved a series of key projects aimed at improving infrastructure, education, healthcare, and youth empowerment across the nation's capital. The decisions were reached during the 5th Executive Council meeting chaired by Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. Kabir Hassan tells us more.
A total of 33 memoranda were presented for consideration. Out of 14 involved award of contracts and 8 for ratification. All received the Council's approval. In the health sector, The council approved the provision of 12 fully equipped ambulances to strengthen emergency response services across the territory.
Today at the Executive Council meeting, a contract has been ratified, and I am very pleased to say for the first time in about 9 years, FCT will get 12 brand new ambulances.
In the education sector, approval was given for the supply of instructional materials to secondary schools aimed at improving effective teaching and learning.
In today's Executive Council meeting, a contract was awarded for the supply of instructional material for WAEC, NECO and practical materials in 88 number senior secondary school of FCT.
Under infrastructure development, the council approved the construction of new access roads within Abuja, as well as the extension of service centers, including the Jabi pump station, to improve public utilities.
The FCT Executive Committee today approved the award of contract for the alternative access road to the old Federal Secretariat in Durumi, as well as resurfacing of the existing road.
The FCT Executive Committee has approved the extension of service contracts for the operation and maintenance of Jabi Pump Station and servicing of associated sewer lines.
The council also endorsed the establishment of youth centers to promote entrepreneurship, self-employment, and empowerment programs for young residents of the FCT.
Today at FCT Expo, we were able to approve a memo in respect of complete renovation of Nyanya Youth Center.
In the agricultural sector, farmers are to benefit from fertilizers distribution and other input to boost productivity and contribute to food security. Minister Wike reaffirmed the administration commitment to President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, assuring residents that all approved projects will directly enhance their living standards. Kabir Hassan reporting for Global TV News.
You're watching the live broadcast of Midday News. When Midday News returns, Flamingos trash Samao 4 goes to 0 to reach last 16 of Under-17 Women's World Cup. Details coming shortly, plus business and foreign stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. Business news. The Central Bank of Nigeria has pledged to sustain reforms following Nigerians' removal from the Financial Action Task Force grey list. The bank said the milestone reflects improvement in anti-money laundering, compliance, interagency coordination, and financial transparency. The central bank added that reforms such as updated anti-money laundering regulations and foreign exchange governance tools have strengthened global confidence in Nigeria's financial system. The Nigerian Customs Service Fincan Island Port Command has intercepted 2 containers of vehicles concealing illicit drugs worth 5.3 billion naira. Comptroller Frank Onyeka said the seizure contains cannabis, hashish oil, and crystal meth were made following coordinated intelligence and enforcement efforts. The confiscated substances have been handed over to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency for further investigation, with Customs vowing to intensify its crackdown on drugs tackling and trade violations. The federal government has taken another major step towards inclusive agricultural development with the validation of the revised National Gender Policy in Agriculture and a Strategic Action Plan for 2025 to 2030. A correspondent, Aniti Patrick, reports that the policy aims to bridge gender gaps in access to land, finance, and decision-making across Nigeria's agricultural system.
The validation workshop held in Abuja brought together key stakeholders from government agencies and the National Assembly to Development Partners and Farmer Association. The revised policy, led by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, is designed to promote inclusivity, equity, and productivity across the agricultural value chain.
Having now protect productivity and inclusivity, the national gender policy in agriculture in our collective response framework that ensure equal participation, equitable allocation of resources, and targeted support for women, men, young farmers, and persons with disabilities.
According to the ministry, the document is the product of a year-long consultative process involving more than 1,200 stakeholders across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Marcus Ogumbi, said the policy marks a milestone in mainstreaming gender equality into agricultural planning and budgeting.
This policy will serve as a guiding framework for our actions and decisions in ensuring that the needs and perspectives of women and other vulnerable groups are integrated into agricultural development.
For the chairperson of the National Gender Steering Committee and Food Systems Specialist at ActionAid Nigeria, Azubike Nwokoye, the policy reflects current realities, including the need to tackle gender-based violence and support young farmers.
This revised national gender policy in agriculture, we reflected over the gaps we have seen. You know, as we have been working with the policy, there are contextual issues that are coming up. There are things that are changing that we need to also reflect and also put in some action.
The revised national gender policy in agriculture is expected to be presented to the National Council on Agriculture for endorsement, setting the stage for more inclusive agricultural growth and better food and nutrition security nationwide. Anie T. Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
On the foreign scene, 2 Cameroonian opposition leaders backing presidential challenger Issa Chiroma Bakary have been arrested following disputed elections. Anisit Ekani of the African Movement for New Independence and Democracy and Jukam Chami of Movement Democratic Integral were taken from their homes by elite forces after Chiroma claimed victory against long-term ruler Paul Biya. The arrests have sparked outrage from opposition groups who described the move as intimidation ahead of the official announcement of results. Madagascar's President Andry Rajoelina has been stripped of his citizenship after acquiring French nationality and fleeing the country amid protests. His former aide has also been arrested in Mauritius for allegedly laundering $163 billion linked to assets in the country. Coup leader Michael Randrianirina, now in power, has pledged to hold elections within 2 years as Rajoelina's whereabouts remains unknown. United States President Donald Trump has presided over what he called a historic peace deal between Thailand and Cambodia aimed at resolving decade-long border tensions. Although Thai officials described it as a pathway to peace, the agreement followed United States diplomatic pressure that led to a ceasefire after deadly clashes in July. The signing comes as Trump tours Asia with planned meetings with leaders of China, South Korea, and Japan to advance regional security and trade ties. And in the world of sports, Nigerians under-17 women's team advanced to the knockout stage of the World Cup after thrashing Samoa 4-0 in Morocco. Queen Joseph backed a brace while Shakirat Mashoud and Azizat Oduntan did one each as the Flamingos finished third in their group. The victory gives Nigerian a +3 goals difference, setting up a round of 16 clash with North Korea on Tuesday. Rivers United have qualified for the group stage of the CAF Champions League after defeating Mozambique's Black Bulls 3-1 in Uyo. Goals from Wasiu and Timothy secured a 3-2 great victory for the Nigerian side. Coach George Finindi praised his players' resilience, saying the win highlights Nigerians' growing strength in continental football. British heavyweight Anthony Joshua says a longer-awaited fight with Tyson Fury is more possible now than ever, insisting Fury has run out of options. Joshua says the bout is the clearest path to reclaiming his throne and restoring British boxing. The two former world champions have yet to face each other despite years of speculation, but Joshua believes the time has finally come for the showdown. And that's it on the Midday News. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365 and Star Times channels 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using Global TV NG. I am Sadia Yakubu saying thank you for watching.